Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I'm just installing buckets on Amazon S3 over here. And, there's this great feature that came out today called S3 files. It's the ability to mount an S3 bucket as a file system, but not in your typical way. Well, you know what? Let me actually show it to you in action as soon as I just this. Let's go check it out. For legal reasons, that is not Amazon S3. Okay? Okay. Okay, let's talk about S3 files. S3 files is a shared file system that allows you to connect your AWS compute resources, EC2 instances, and Lambda functions to your data on an Amazon S3 bucket. But Darko, we used to do this in the past. S3 Fuse is a thing, or Mountpoint S3 is a thing. Yes, dear viewer, those things are things. However, those things are not file systems, or at least not honest file systems. They are abstractions of file systems in front of object store, which Amazon S3 is. And there are certain limitations to that, and I'm gonna actually show that to you later on in the video. What S3 files is an actual file system, a high-performing, full file system semantics file system based off of EFS. And it's actually a file system endpoint that sits between your storage and your compute somewhere in the middle and provides you a lot of those actual file system benefits. So how does this all work? Well, when you create an S3 file system and link it to an S3 bucket, or even a prefix within a bucket, and then you mount it to, let's say, an EC2 instance, it initially presents itself as a traversable view of your bucket's object files. Now, as you start navigating through the directories and all of those files, the associated metadata and the contents are being loaded onto this high-performance storage that sits between your S3 bucket and that compute thing, that Mountpoint, and it stores there for quicker access. So for example, when you open up a file, it loads that file's contents from S3 onto this high-performance storage without having to, well, load your entire bucket onto it. Writes, on the other hand, when you write something, you're not writing to a bucket, you're writing to this high-performance storage, and then there's a process in the backend that syncs all of these things with the actual S3 bucket. Now, S3 files intelligently converts your file system calls into efficient S3 requests on your behalf. And to be honest, most read operations are skipping the file system entirely and just are served directly from S3. Now, let's go ahead and check out how we can set this up. Let's create an S3 file system. Let's launch an EC2 instance that has permissions to it, and let's do some FFmpeg shenanigans inside of my S3 bucket that contains some videos. Let's start off by creating this file system. Now I have a bucket here called Darko S3FS, and it's just a single bucket with a single file. It's a video I have here. Now I want to go ahead and create a file system. So I'm going to go to File Systems New, and I'm going to go ahead and create a file system. It is super simple, nothing special. You need to select which VPC because, again, it is something that needs to be adjacent to your compute resources. I'm going to go ahead with the default VPC here, and that's fine. And I'm just going to use the whole bucket instead of just a specific prefix. This is fine for me. You can give it a specific name, but I can just hit Create File System here, and it's going to go ahead and create all the necessary things, all of the endpoints, all of the access points for me. It's actually going to create an endpoint for each of the subnets, or actually availability zones, you have within a given region. So this takes a couple of minutes. I'm going to be magically back as soon as this is done. Okay, that took like 4 to 5 minutes, but we have a file system ready. As you can see here, the mount targets are available in every AZ, and there's an access point available here. We're going to have to change something on these mount targets. As you can see here, each of these has a specific security group attached to it because, again, this is a network file system and it needs to be attached through the network. So there's some network shenanigans we need to do. But we'll get to that after we created ourselves an EC2 instance. So I'm going to go over into EC2 and I'm going to launch an instance. And I'm going to call this S3FS. And we're going to use Ubuntu and we're going to select something beefy. So let's do C6A, shoutouts to AMD, X large, there we go. Okay, so we're going to be using this one, a lot of CPUs, a lot good. I want a big beefy EC2 instance because I want to do some FFmpeg stuff. So I'm going to select a key here. I'm going to leave it on the default VPC. However, I will change it to a subnet, and you'll see why. I want to select an existing group because I want to SSH into it. So I have a security group with just SSH access. That's okay. And I want to give it a local storage of 120 gigabytes. Okay, now I can attach a file system to it. Now this is important. This will complain if you don't have a subnet defined. It's going to complain. So I'm going to select S3 files new, add a shared file system, and it's going to be able to automatically pick up this here for me. Now, this basically just gives me a mount command for this, and I can copy it here. I'm going to copy this and put it somewhere on the side because we're going to be running this thing here. Okay, copy that. Before we move on, I need to give my EC2 instance permissions to interact with S3 files. So to do that, I actually go ahead and create or select an IAM profile. I'm going to create a new IAM profile here, and I'm going to call it, let's do S3FS video. And what's great is there is a policy already available that helps me just do this. So I can do S3F files, and I can just do client full access. Now, you potentially want to tailor this down to that specific file system, to a specific bucket. You don't want to give it permissions to this. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to just select full client access. This is going to give me access to any file system within this account. Just so you know, you want to make sure this is way tighter than just that. Okay, selecting that manage policy, attaching it to a policy called S3FS video, create role, excellent. And this is going to basically attach this role to the EC2 instance. Now, if I would click launch instance right now, it would probably fail because there's a little bit of a eventual consistency when creating IAM roles. So I think we are fine here. Just want to double check everything here. Subnet, VPC, public IP, SSH, big old GPT-3 thing. I copied this file system, this mount command, and I think I should be ready. If I go ahead and click launch, we should be good. Okay, the instance is launching. I'm going to give this a second, and then I'm going to be connecting to it over SSH as soon as this instance is available. You know what? No, wait. Something we need to fix. As this thing is launching, I'm going to go back into my file system here. And remember those security groups I mentioned attached to the mount targets? Well, actually, let's go ahead and open this specific security group. Automatically, it attaches itself to the default security group when you create a file system, default security group inside of that VPC. So what I need to do here is I need to change this security group and give it specific inbound permissions. So I'm going to hit edit inbound rules, and I'm going to add a new rule on a custom TCP port, and the port is going to be 2049. And instead of just allowing everybody, you shouldn't allow everybody, I'm actually going to give it permissions to a specific security group. So it's the SSH default VPC security group that I've attached to my EC2 instance. So I'm just going to give permissions. Anything within that security group, anything that has that security group attached to it, can over port to 2049 on TCP access these mount points or access anything inside of this default group. Ideally, you would create a dedicated security group for these things, but since I've done this already, well, I have the default group here. I can just save the rule here, and now my EC2 instance will have permissions on the network level to access these mount targets. Otherwise, you have to go here, and for each of the mounted targets, you have to change the security group manually. We're not going to be doing that right now. Okay, back to the instance. I'm going to go ahead and connect here using SSH. So I'm going to just open up here. I have my terminal here, do that, and we should be good to go. Excellent. Let me do some op stuff, and let's do some sudo apt update. I'm going to just update the packages and be right back. I do love a good sudo apt upgrade. Okay, we are good. Okay, I am ready. I'm going to sudo su. I'm going to switch into root, and I'm going to be copying the command we got from our EC2 instance launch. So this command will install all of the EFS stuff, because remember, EFS is kind of behind this thing, and actually mount all of the stuff. So I'm going to let this finish. It takes around a minute for this to happen. So we'll be magically back in, I guess, 1 second. Well, that was fast. Look at that. File system mounted at MNT S3FS1. Let's have a look. If I do ls MNT S3FS1, in a second, specs short MP4 is there. Excellent. We can access our contents available inside of that S3 bucket. Now, I promised to show you what is not a file system. This is a file system, but let me show you what not a file system is. And I'm going to go and switch over to a different thing here. Okay, let's make this full screen. So right here, I have an EC2 instance that has S3 Mountpoint used here. So I used Mountpoint. Let's see. Basically, I used the S3 Mountpoint to connect to this, and not S3 files. And I still have access to this S3 bucket. This is a different S3 bucket, but it's an S3 bucket with the same file. Now, what I want to run here is I want to run an FFmpeg command. And this will show you an example when you're not dealing with a file system. So I'm going to convert this file from a video file into just an audio file. So just convert it from an MP4 to an MP3. And I'm going to run a specific command here. And give me a second. I have a little FFmpeg command here. And so what this command does, it basically converts it from an MP4 into an MP3. What's specific about this is that it actually, FFmpeg, as it starts converting, as it reaches the end, it actually has to go back to the start of the file to write some metadata. And this is where it fails when you're not actually dealing with a file system. So let me run this. And as we'll see, it kind of goes through the whole process. It's all fine. Boom. It's unable to close the file because it's not a file system. It's not able to go ahead back to the beginning of the file and perform the whole metadata magic. This is something that's not possible unless you have mounted an S3 bucket as a file system using S3 files. S3 Fuse or even this Mountpoint S3 will not work in this case. Let's go to the other one and see how this works. So if I go to MNT S3FS1, so we have the same file here, and I am going to run the same command. And remember, this thing is now mounted as an S3 file system. If I run this, I don't have FFmpeg. Okay, sudo apt, one second, apt install, install FFmpeg. There we go. Shout out to FFmpeg. I'll be back in a second. FFmpeg installed. Excellent. Let's try that again. Boom. All right, conversion. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. No red text. Not yet, at least. Look at that. Complete. Clear, LL. Both files are here. This is, well, in one part, a key difference between having an actual file system and something that's simulating a file system. So if you have needs to convert data or do some high performance stuff for your agents or even do some data processing for some machine learning workloads, consider S3 files as an option to attach it to your EC2 instances, your Lambda functions, or wherever. I'm going to leave a bunch of links down below to documentation and tutorials how you can get started with this. It is available right now inside of your AWS account, and there's no reason for you not to try it. If you enjoyed this kind of content and would like to see more videos on AWS agents, command line interfaces, and something that's a file system, do give this video a like. And if you want to see more of this, I said that already, but if you want to see more of this, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you all in the next one.